C.R.P.H.A. here. Before I mention any of the topics today, I'm going to say whoever knows Joseph Rupert of San Jose in the Silicon Valley area, and Paul Richard Fawcett, and who owns a Toyota partial hybrid vehicle. Do not be friends with them because they will either both get you in trouble, make fun of you, say things that are not even true about you, and talk behind your back like illogical human beings that they are. So don't be friends with them. Okay, here's the topics of the day. 1. Jerry Brown needs to get rid of the high tax plan, the very one that he introduced before the Prop 39, which was originally for school funding that he himself advertised for, along with some children on live television. For the school funding. Prop 39 was originally for California school funding. But then, while it was about to pass, he stupidly and illogically went behind closed doors and used a legislative loophole to change it from the school funding proposition to his high tax plan proposition. And yet everybody thought that the school funding proposition being under Prop 39 was about to pass. But even the liberal socialist newspaper known as the Sacramento Bee even said that he went behind closed doors and changed it. So therefore, he was only thinking of him and what he thought was best. He doesn't think that the school or youth's education is best. Obviously, he's illogical, closed-minded, ignorant, and stupid, and brain dead, like most of the liberal idiots are. So Jerry Brown needs to disband the high tax plan so more businesses can come in here into California, essentially, and employ a number of the people who are not employed, be that, of course, more retail companies, fast food companies, and various others need to come in here. No factories, though. You realize that also that that even before the high tax plan happened, both this Carl's Jr. head corporate office and the Jack in the Box corporate office acted like it was already implemented, was about to go into, was already in action, as it were, in place, as it were, anyway, as well. And they relocated their corporate offices, and they also went over to where they were still able to operate their restaurants and franchised restaurants here in California, but the one thing is they were about to open more to help the unemployment percentages, but instead they couldn't because they knew that it was going to be too costly because of the high tax plan. Even though at that time it wasn't in place, but they acted as if it was, which was a smart business thing to do. So in order, and here's the one thing is, Jerry Brown thinks it's helping California. He thinks that the high tax plan will help and benefit California. He even said it himself, in his own words, granted, when he was first introduced it, and even after the fact that many Californians in the state of California thought it was a big mistake to even put through. But does that matter to Jerry Brown? No. And yet he's saying that he's doing things to better California. He's not doing a damn thing to better California. He hasn't done one good thing for California. All he's been doing is what he thinks is good for California, which basically is a load of horseshit. What he thinks doesn't matter. What the citizens of California think, the legal citizens of California think matters way more than a fucking politician such as a liberal idiot known as Jerry Brown to start with, and a lot and also what matters is what our youth and the legal citizens again think what's best for the state of California. Not even Dianne Feinstein or Barbara Boxer or whoever else in the Liberal Party. What they think is best for the American people of California to start with doesn't matter. What matters is what the citizens of California think is what's better. And that's why they were about to have Prop 39 passed when they thought the thing was still under the school funding situation. Until Jerry Brown put it to where he used a legislative loophole in the legislation proposition of the Proposition of 39 and changed it to where his high tax plan would pass. I knew he would do that way before the newspaper of the liberal Sacramento Bee newspaper said anything about it. I'm not a mind reader, but I know certain actions that politicians can make and have made, even would have made, and were even thinking of making, even attempted to make. And some of them made it, and they had to disband it. The one thing is, Jerry Brown thinks he's more intelligent than the people of California. He's more than kidding himself. He's not smarter than the people of California. He's dumber than a fucking barrel of monkeys, man. To put it lightly. So, Jerry Brown, you have until Christmas to disband the high tax plan. So more jobs, be that retail, fast food, and many other things outside the factory aspect, can come into the state of California to employ many of those who are still looking for jobs in the state of California. And also, Jerry Brown, here's another one. Do not ever even attempt to try to turn this country, this state actually, the state of California, into a sanctuary state. Because if you go against the Constitution, you're going against not only the president but the people of this state, being the American people. You go against the Constitution, you're going against everything that made this country. You're going against the forefathers as well, Jerry Brown. And if you go against the forefathers, you are one fucking unrealistic, illogical little fucking dumbass. And you should be impeached. In fact, I'm putting it through that you should be impeached because you do not know what's best for California. You do not know what the American people of the state of California want. All you can do is guess and use your so-called illogical, brain-dead, closed-minded brain of a mind, and also a senile mind, be that because I know you have a moderate, if not full, aspect of Alzheimer's at this point. If you think that you can get by saying that you know what's best for the state of California, and you don't. The state of California was not implemented to and put together as a state to where it would be closed off from the United States, from the rest of the United States. The whole entire state of California belongs part of the United States, and it will remain part of the United States. So don't ever try to even attempt to separate California, my home state, from the rest of the United States. You will be dealt with if you even attempt it again. So I'm going to put out that to every news media across the country. Jerry Brown must be impeached. He doesn't know shit. He doesn't know jack diddle about what's best for the state of California, and he is becoming more than senile up here to start with. And his actions are showing senile aspects of Alzheimer's. Point number 2, the mayor of San Francisco. You need to disband the labeling of San Francisco City and County, including the Marin County area and Sausalito. Disband the labeling of Sanctuary City. You, by keeping that on San Francisco City and County, including Sausalito and Marin County, you are going against the Constitution of the United States, and if you claim to be upholding the Constitution, having a sanctuary city in any state is not upholding the Constitution. It's going more than 100 fucking percent against the Constitution of the United States. We the people, that is. Money of being funded for doing a certain illogical, unconstitutional action doesn't make it any better. You go against the Constitution. You're going against the American people. You're also going against this country and the President of the United States. It doesn't matter what party the President's part of, but you're still going against him, whether you like his actions or not, whether you respect him or not. It doesn't matter. You go against the Constitution. You're going against every piece and part of this country, and that's including the American people, even in the state of California or any state that even attempts to be sanctuary. I will work my damnedest to make sure that this state and other states do not turn into sanctuary cities and states and counties. Because you go against the Constitution. You're making the biggest fucking illogical move that any liberal has ever made in the political history of Democrats. Okay, number 2 is the fact that I know that many of you that are probably watching this video even now know that McDonald's was planning to, and probably already did, because they said by December at some point, planning to tear down the very location of one of the very first McDonald's with the separate arches that Ray Kroc opened himself, while being partnered up by a contract. Of course, it was a sucky-ass contract, granted in the beginning, between Ray Kroc and the McDonald's brothers, with the McDonald's brothers in full operation of the whole franchise situation and the company itself at the time of McDonald's. McDonald's just because McDonald's is more than a multi-billion-dollar company, and I do mean more than a multi-billion-dollar company. Yet they bitched and moaned by the fact because of the fact that they claimed it was too expensive, becoming too costly for them to operate and keep up the original signage, the street signage to start with, of the separate arch McDonald's. What they could have done was wait until their anniversary to turn on that damn thing, but turn on the sign light of the building, which is not really expensive at all. They could have used the street signage lights as a celebration for their anniversary, like they did when they built the the 4-story in between the 4 or 3-story indoor separate arched McDonald's location in celebration of their 50th anniversary. Um, so basically, McDonald's made a big corporate business mistake by even implementing by tearing down the very thing that started the franchising of McDonald's. And yes, the McDonald's brothers are the original founders of McDonald's, not Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc is the one that helped franchise it, so he's the founder of the franchising, if you want to put it that way in that category. Um, but other than that, he's not the original founder of McDonald's. And when it comes to the aspect of of the Hitler situation, um, is that many people, even the liberals and the liberal voters, consider Trump as a Hitler. It's been said on many liberal news medias across this country. The only Hitler that we need to worry about is Kim Jong-un. He's been testing missiles in the sense of attempting to attack the United States, starting with Hawaii and going up as far as Frisco and possibly the rest of the United States. That's the only person we need to worry about. Don't be labeling Trump as Hitler, because he's a full-blooded, 100% full-blooded American, just like I am. And he's no Hitler. He's going by the Constitution 100, more than 100%. So whether you like him or not, you need to respect him and follow him and support him, because he, like you said, he would do everything that's logically possible and realistically possible for both those that did and did not vote for him. That's a base of a true president. The one that went against that was Carter and Obama to start with, and Clinton, of course. Bill Clinton's wife was about to go against the Constitution full-heartedly by by implementing something to take out the Fourth Amendment. The liberal Democrats think they're doing right by this country. They're not. and those liberal voters that think that the Democrats are doing right by this country, you are more than kidding yourself. The liberals don't give a damn about this country. They may claim that they do, but they don't. They haven't done one right thing, even since Carter, and since Clinton and Obama, and even many years after JFK, John F. Kennedy. So again, the liberal Democrats don't give a damn about this country. All they want is money, power, and control over our rights and freedoms and the welfare of this country. In a political aspect, they're the liberal Democrats are the Hitler as well. Ever since, see, between the Republicans and the liberal Democrats, let's put it another way here. When Obama had to decide what to do when it came to various different situations of uh, other countries and possible situations that might have harmed this country. His observation was, let's negotiate with them. Let's be friends with them. We can do it. We can do it. All we have to do is kiss their ass and see if they'll kiss ours. And even if they don't, we'll still kiss their ass and help them out and waste our money instead of helping our own people that really truly need the help. And all through his presidency, that's exactly what happened. He helped other countries and negated to help the people in this country of the U.S. that really needed it. Therefore, he raised the debt ceiling at least close to almost 3 times. And in his observation, that helped the country and its finances. Horseshit, and made it worse. Just like Jerry Brown's high tax plan is making what's happening to California's employment situation way worse. It's not making it better. It's not helping California, and it will never help California. And it's not benefiting California either. So both Obama and Jerry Brown are brain dead idiots. I respect Obama as a person, but a politician, he fucking blew chunks at that. I respected him as a senator because he wasn't a senator of California. Thank goodness, because I could tell the way he was running as a senator for Chicago, Illinois. It didn't really do any good because the more things got worse, they acted like they were getting things better. If anything got better, then okay, then explain this. The car industry had to close a number of their plants, even during the moderation of this recession. How is that supporting and making things better for Chicago, Illinois, in which is also a in I believe it's in Denver as well. Anyway, the whole aspect is that Obama doesn't know diddly squat about politics. You can play act and say you do and yet your actions show complete fucking different. The only one that knows politics is me, Trump, and George H.W. and George W. Bush Jr. Just start. And Ronald Reagan knows politics, knows how to knows how to run this country better than any ones even before. Of course, there was a number of other presidents many years before, starting with George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, among others, did the right thing. Even though a number of actions that even Abraham Lincoln made, not very many people are too happy with. But of course, that was a sign of the times. He did what was best for this country to make this country as great as it has been, but it's going downhill because of Carter and because of Obama and because of Bill Clinton. And the state is going down the fucking tubes. The state of California is going down the fucking tubes because of the actions and stupidity of Jerry Brown. Of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't really do any good either. So. But I can tell you the one thing: I respect Arnold Schwarzenegger as an actor. He didn't really do any beneficial things for the state of California as a governor. That's one thing. But I still respect him as a human being, as a Heavenly Father's child, and also as an actor. He's a really good actor. But the basic fact is, Jerry Brown is making things way worse. He's not making anything better. He's not doing anything to benefit the state of California. He's not doing anything to benefit the citizens of California, or even its youth, or even to benefit its youth. He's not doing anything to benefit its youth either, especially when it comes to the educational situation. Because if he did, then let's see the high tax plan versus our youth's education and the school's funding for to make our youth's education better and stronger and more substantial, even for this day and age. What's more important? Well, obviously, as even before the Sacramento Bee made a certain length of an article about it, I already knew he was going to choose his high tax plan of what he wanted versus what was more important, what was more substantial and logical, which was the funding for our schools and our youth's education in the state of California. That was more important than his little fucking ideal of the high tax plan. But of course, everybody doesn't look at logic, does he? He thinks he does, but he doesn't. He's a senile person. He should be impeached, and I'm still putting forth that he needs to be impeached. He's becoming more than senile. He has a moderation, almost full-blown base of Alzheimer's. It may not be reported, and many things can be bought. Many people can be bought with money by not reporting shit, including the liberal media. Can be bought, obviously. The other thing is the media, both conservative, liberal, and Republican, and what have you, and moderate, are not telling the American people the full thing, what the people of this country deserve to know, because the FCC doesn't want them to know the full truth of what's really going on. They only are able, by contract, of course, through the FCC, to know only so much, and to give out only so much to the American people, not the full and honest, logical truth, obviously. One big mistake there. That's why I've been doing these videos and telling the American people across the country the real truth. One second. Like I said, like I said earlier, the only one person we have to worry about is not Trump, because Trump is a full-blooded American. He's going by what he knows, right? Which basically, I'm going to support him 100. I'm supporting him 100%. And he said he would do many positive things for this country and for the people of the American people of this country, both who voted and who did not vote for him. And also, the only person we have to worry about is Kim Jong. He's the Hitler, just like it was said about Saddam Hussein. He was considered a Hitler, and then another one person that was considered a Hitler, more of a technological aspect, I guess, if not otherwise than technological, but was was Osama bin Laden. Kim Jong thinks he's doing right by his father. He thinks he's doing better than his father by doing what his father should have done but didn't do. And obviously, one of many of them is trying to threaten the United States of America and its people, and in the sense of harming the United States and its people. That's what Kim Jong wants to do and has been doing. He thinks that's a way of showing power. It's not the way of showing power. It's showing stupidity. It's showing ignorance. It's showing illogical actions and thought. And it's showing how childish Kim Jong is. Whether you like it or not, Kim Jong, I speak the truth. You should know your father did right. He didn't go against the United States the way you're attempting to, Kim Jong. Because he knew that there would be a retaliation like there was in World War II when it came to the United States and Japan. Among other parts of the Orient. You should know by the history books that the certain very large, widespread area was nuked because of the continuous attacks against the United States by Japan in World War II and possibly other parts of the Orient, but in World War II. Do you want to be the next person, Kim Jong, to be completely blown away, just like what happened in World War II and uh, what happened to Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein? You want to be the next one to be more than a casualty? I hope not, because you are also Heavenly Father's child, just like everybody else on this planet is, and just like I am. a Heavenly Father's child. So Kim Jong, you wanna show intelligence? If you watch Star Trek, you should know. And I know Star Trek is is viewed all over the world. All right, Star Trek is about peace and exploration, and also Star Trek was about also good ties, good positive strong ties with other worlds and other cultures. That's what the United States is about. It's been about that even before before our founding forefathers. We are to go in peaceful aspects, peaceful things, in the sense of in the sense of getting along with other countries, to where we can all band together, every country across the globe, all over the globe essentially, band together with the United States as friends, allies, and help and work together and help each other out. Not not try to do one another in by nearly obliterating the whole population. That's not by obliterating the whole population is not a way of intelligence, Kim Jong. So if you want to show you're smart, if you want to show that you're intelligent, Kim Jong, and this goes for every other country leader around the world outside the United States. If you want to show that you're intelligent, become the United States allies. We always help and support and defend our allies, and our allies would hopefully. I know that in their own way, our allies help and defend the United States. So again, Kim Jong, to start with, you need to show your intelligence by not attempting, even orchestrating. Do not even orchestrate by trying to attack the United States, because you will become more than a casualty if you go against the U.S. Just like Osama bin Laden did in 9/11. He became a casualty. Saddam Hussein became a casualty eventually. You will be the third one in line between those two. If you think intelligence means to go against a country that didn't do shit to you, Kim Jong. Showing you're intelligent doesn't mean by trying to obliterate the population of any country. It doesn't matter what country it is, including the United States. Being intelligent shows that you can build a ball, the weaponry you want. It doesn't matter, but as long as you don't use it against the United States, because the United States is and will always defend itself. And Kim Jong, if you want to be the United States ally, we will help protect and defend you and your country, as we are doing for South Korea. We can do the same for North Korea. The only way that will happen, Kim Jong, is if you show your intelligence by quit threatening the United States, quit even orchestrating to try to attack the United States. Show your intelligence by becoming the United States ally, not its enemy. that right there shows intelligence right there by becoming friends and partners and allies with the United States. Seriously. Topic number 3. Um, Earlier today, I found out that there was word in the grapevines, as it were, if you want to call it that, that Kroger wants a piece of Safeway, even after the fact that Albertsons has a moderation of Safeway. Albertsons wants to completely tear down the company, just like they did to Lucky's. That's why you notice Lucky's is no longer, hardly, if not no longer around, because of the bad business practice of Albertsons after merging with Lucky's. They're using the same business practice with Safeway though, but so far Safeway is staying strong. But who's to say how long that's going to be? So I'm going to tell you, Albertsons disband from the merger of of between you and Safeway, because Albertsons doesn't know the CEO and president of Albertsons doesn't know the proper aspect of business, even in its own operation. If they're going to completely eliminate a what was then a competitor, but also a a partner in the merger, known as Lucky's, for example, as they did to Lucky's, they totally destroyed it. And using the same business practice with Safeway, bad move. So Albertsons, you have until February to disband yourself from Safeway. My family, on my mother's side, shopped at Safeway and with Safeway ever since I was an infant. I want to carry on that legacy. And the only way I can is by making sure that Safeway stays in business and stays strong like it should. Safeway was in business way before Albertsons, way before Nob Hill, way before Rayleigh's, way before Bel Air markets, way before Lucky's and Alpha Beta. Safeway started between 1923 and 1928. So if any action is to be done, any positive action that needs to be done, has to be going through Safeway, not Albertsons. If Albertsons has an idea, it's mostly it would be more often than not the idea that they gave the CEO and president of Lucky's, which basically destroyed Lucky's, obviously. So basically, Albertsons, disband yourself from them, and Kroger, do not, do not even attempt to connect with Safeway. You're the biggest one in the East Coast, granted, yes. But Safeway is the biggest one in the West Coast, and I want it to remain that. So Kroger, president and CEO of Kroger, don't even attempt to merge with Safeway, unless you are the type that will not completely destroy Safeway like Albertsons did to Lucky. and Albertsons still needs to disband itself from Safeway in the merger and any business affiliation with it, and fast. Topic number 4. CVS. Many people don't realize this even are aware of this. Before they bought Long, many years before they bought Longs, in the secret buyout between Longs and CVS, even though Walgreens got into the buyout battle as well. CVS was sued 3 separate times in 3 separate years for continuously selling over-the-counter expired items known as baby formula, milk, and various others. Now they expect the American people, the American shopper, being those that shop at their stores, to let the staff members know, oh, this one's outdated or expired. When logic dictates that when a person shops at any fucking retailer, they expect the damn thing to be up to date, or they don't have to be obligated to look at the date and say, oh, this thing's expired. Oh, excuse me, sir, madam, this thing's expired. You need to take these down and replace them. It's the responsibility and logic aspect of the retailer and its employees to make sure that everything is not even remotely close to the expiration date, even near the end of the sell-by date. If they are not willing to do that, then they should not be in business. Long made sure that everything was up to date. Long's made it to where at least one of their employees went to different sections of the store of things of aisles that had items that would expire, even on the sale by date aspect, and replaced them with, even if not the same product, a different product. CVS doesn't even do that currently. And yet they are supposed to be well trusted. They're supposed to be might say, the second largest pharmacy retailer in the country. Of course, Rite Aid is the third largest, but still. See, Longs was the first, Walgreens was the second. Now it puts Walgreens as first, and CVS is second. In the base of pharmacy retailer. And what was it? CVS essentially contracted to be a pharmacy operator in every Target store. And then now, I believe they bought out, if not connected themselves with Aetna. a medical insurance conglomerate, if you want to put it. In this person's view, advocate, and of course I consider myself as a businessman because I know business pretty well. In fact, um, I got into business even before I worked for Longs when I was at the age of 16. But from this business person's perspective and knowledge, that the more CVS does stupid things, including when it comes to spending more and more money, they're about to turn into another Mervyn's. Though they will eventually turn into another Payless. They will turn into another Gemco. I can go on. Though I'm naming the companies that are no longer around, including Circle City. Circuit City is one of many that put itself out of business because of the bad business practices through the corporate office. Montgomery Ward's was another one of them too. But and many people think, oh, Longs is now CVS. It's still the same company. Bull fucking shit. Longs is not CVS. Longs will never be CVS. Longs is Long's drugstore alone. And it will always be as Longs. It will not have a label name change for any reason. I got to give more than praise and honor to the population of and citizens of the Hawaiian Islands, including Maui, Honolulu, Hawaii itself, and many of the islands that still have Long's drugstores with the name Long's on the buildings. They fought good to keep Long's the way where it is and the way it is. They didn't. It was a smart idea for them to keep Long's where it is in Hawaii. Only if it was only if it actually happened that way with them, with the mainlands being the United States, the mainland of the United States, starting with the West Coast, through California and many other states that had Long's drugstores. I wrote to CVS saying that they should keep the Long's name and just go into another empty building and put the CVS name and leave the Long's drugstores where they were. But they didn't do that because they wanted to show how better they are compared to every other retailer by doing something stupid, by spending more money to reassess the whole entire building, including change the name. Spend hundreds of thousands and billions of dollars to even do that. Then they laid off over what was it? I think it was like close to 8,000, 8 billion or more employees of Longs. They pink slipped them. just because they were not very so self assured that the Long's employees were CVS you know honor in the sense of like CVS material in the sense that they would be able to work with the CVS way. Obviously, CVS does know its own positive operation that it could be running versus the way it is and has been run. And why Payless is no longer around. Thrifties is no longer around. Rec, I believe it's Rexall is no longer around. I told a friend of mine that the more that CVS does big moves when it comes to spending loads of cash to start with on things and put money into things, especially when it comes to so-called mergers or buyouts, they will eventually become non-existent. She she obviously doesn't think though so, but I respect her anyways. But and with the fact that she doesn't really know business as well as I do, I know exactly the way business works. Granted, I know you should be in business then if you know it that well. In many ways, it takes time and money, and at times it takes time, but also it takes effort. But I need more. I would need more than just myself to make things happen when it comes to opening a business. Of course, this sort of business of and advocating I've been doing since 2004. That's a totally separate thing from being public wide and statewide. Truth. And also, the other thing is that well, hold on one second. The other thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is that Long's founders, Tom and Joe Long, wanted Long's to last longer than it did. It was a stupid operation, stupid movement, and stupid idealism that the CEO and president of Long's in 2008 did what they did by putting the company up for sale. All they would have to do is contact my store that I was working for and at, which was in Palo Alto, and see if there was anybody that would want to run the company. I would have jumped. I would have jumped for. I would have jumped for the chance right there, without even a thought. I would have made preparations to move closer to the corporate office. and set up placement right near that whole area. And I would have run the company the way the founders would want me to run it. Truth. But stupidly, the president and CEO of Longs in 2008 didn't even think of that. They just wanted some way to get out easy and fast. Or just what they considered easy and fast. They couldn't. They obviously couldn't handle or didn't want to handle the company anymore. Stupid move. Brain dead, illogical move too, by the way. Now we got another company that was said to be being bought out by Walgreens after Boots, of course, was essentially acquired by Walgreens. Um, Rite Aid was said to be um, acquired by Walgreens. Who's to say what would happen to many of the stores, even the ones that are doing fairly well? Would they be closed off even and closed up even if they're doing fairly well, or would they still be in business even if they're not doing that well, but without even given a chance? As one basic question, the Walgreens and Rite Aid corporate corporate people should be asking themselves. Truth. So now I'm gonna put out again that Jerry Brown should be impeached, um, and CVS should bring back Longs under the same Longs policy that they had before, even before the acquisition. And if they need someone to run that part of the company, I am more than ready and more than willing. And I would do it not only for the public and for the um, current and past um, employees of Longs, but also for the founders of Longs, because I know exactly what needs to be done for and within the company of Longs, more than most of the males of Longs would even even know that I know. Of course, I would possibly bring back a certain number of managers that were with Longs, if they're still around, of course. And there's a lot of positive things I would do within that company of Longs. Anywho, if you have any questions or comments, please be sure that they're positive and logical um, comments. But if you have any questions or anything and you want to ask me anything, or even if you want me to advocate for you on anything, please let me know on that one too. Thank you, and may Heavenly Father bless you and Stay safe while doing some holiday shopping in 2017. And if I don't make another video before the Christmas, have a happy and safe holiday and New Year's.